Nizal. We're going Nizal. We are Nizal. Nizal. See?
No, now you're officially Liz Ivan.
Yeah.
Once you hit the ding.
Yeah. Once you hear the ding from the phone, and then you know we Nizal. Anyway, we wanted Miley to be on this video for this very special occasion of the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast because I don't know if anyone knows about Miley, but her favorite wrestler is Seth Rollins, and Seth apparently was injured again, injured his knee again on the with the attack by Samoa Joe on Raw. So we kind of wanted to come on and talk about it because it's funny in a sense, but at the same time, it does kind of suck because he did. It feels like he did just come back from that big knee injury, and his plan was to make it back to WrestleMania because he missed WrestleMania last year due to injury, and now it's kind of up in the air depending on how bad he re-injured his knee. I tried to look back and see exactly what happened. Because I
Well,
didn't.
I think the reason I want to tell you the reason why I heard this via source. It was a friend of mine. We talked about this, but I heard this, and this might be why you didn't see anything that like would have triggered like, oh God, he heard it. Because apparently this is like an existing injury, not like existing like from the previous one, obviously, but obviously it's still existing from that. But like he injured like a couple weeks ago or something like that, and that's why they pulled him from the Rumble.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so we I don't know. It was kind of surprising, and I guess if that is the reason, it's kind of good booking. I guess you kind of makes you think, okay, maybe he did really injure that bad injury again. But if it's just a pre-existing injury, it could be they could be just keeping him out of the ring for a while to
And
make sure.
I would assume it's not like nearly as bad as what it was, because they
Yeah,
wouldn't put him back in the ring.
yeah, and I mean they could just be keeping him out now just to make sure that he's good to go for Mania. That's the last thing you want to happen is for him to really injure his knee before WrestleMania and then have him miss Mania, especially the big match that they're trying to build up him and Triple H. Um, but any other thoughts on since you kind of talked
No,
to your sources?
wasn't even a source. It was just one of my friends. But
It
it
was Justin, wasn't it?
wasn't. But I would say, not necessarily that it's a work. I think there's like probably a legitimate injury there. But I would say that it's. I don't think it's as serious as maybe the pictures detail, or maybe the him going leaving Raw on crutches with detail. I don't think it's that serious. I think they're kind of push it a little bit, maybe a little bit farther. Maybe it's probably something that's minor that he can get worked out before Mania, and it might be a thing where like they try to get him ready for Mania and then kind of let him heal up after Mania, because if he faces Triple H, more than likely he won't have to worry about a title or anything. So like there wouldn't be any like lingering effects from that. And really, if they wanted to, if they really wanted to, usually they kind of cut that off anyway after Mania, anything to do with Triple H. So like there wouldn't be anything that they would have to continue. So it wouldn't be a must that he was on Raw after Raw after Raw after Mania. So I mean, if they're going with, I think that because at first I thought it was just like like just to show how powerful Joe was and all of this, but then they started reporting it everywhere, like ESPN and everything. And I don't know. It's an interesting situation. I think it definitely sucks because he just came back. Like I mean, it not like like it was yesterday or something, but he just came back like like a few months back, probably like what 6 months back or something like that. Was it Battleground? He came back on, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Might have been. But yeah, I know he had just came back not too long ago, back when Reigns was the champion. So I don't know. Like it's an interesting situation. I think you just kind of hope it's not too serious because knee injuries can linger for a while, and knee injuries can cut your career short in anything. So that's one of those, especially in like a sport, anything dealing with athletics and being on it all the time. It's kind of difficult. I wonder will they change his finishing move now though? Because duh. But I don't know because I mean that I would think that would have a little bit of an effect on it too. All that pressure coming down on your knee just because. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hope it's not anything serious. And it could have, for all we know, he could have hurt it at Raw. Not necessarily the injury that he had to have surgery on, that he was out for months, but he could have tweaked something to the pre-existing injury on Raw. Or it could have been something we just don't know.
it's funny
People.
because everybody's going to blame Samoa Joe. They're like Samoa Joe retired Tyson Kidd, so now it's going to retire. Watch.
Yeah, and I mean, it's. I think guys like Samoa Joe don't necessarily, and I said this, about I know I was saying stuff about Seth Rollins hurting Finn Balor, but you kind of got to take into consideration just the difference in kind of the work that WWE does. It's a lot. It's a lot more. I mean, guys in the Indies do wrestle a lot, but it's not. It's not like the WWE schedule, which
and too, it's not nearly as much travel, and that takes a toll on you too. The amount of travel that you do.
yeah, because for the most part with indie guys, it's still in a sense the territories because a lot of you guys stick to a certain area. I mean, unless you're a guy like like the Young Bucks or one of Kenny Omega or whatever, a guy who will have a match in PWG and then another indie promotion in the States and then go back to Japan or wherever. But I mean, I don't think fans really take all that into consideration when they just go, "Oh, Samoa Joe is hurting people," blah blah blah. And I mean, it at the same time too. It's kind of anything can happen. The best wrestler in the world something just freak could happen and they can get injured. And it happens in other sports too, where people are just doing something normal that they do every day and they get hurt.
It was kind of like I don't know if you heard about the Ravens player Zachary Orr, who had to retire. It was on like the second year or something like that. He had to retire. I think it was like a neck stinger or something like that. Like it can be just like anything that just like and that's kind of what sucks about it. It's like you don't know it until bam, it just happens.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think if it is if it is something that legitimately happened, it just kind of sucks for WWE because I think this is like probably one of the worst times for an injury, especially for one of their top guys, especially just coming off of the Rumble where, freaking Reigns was the 30th pick or the 30th entrant. And now everyone's, I think the first couple memes that I saw on Facebook were, Seth Rollins is injured. Who are they going to replace him with? And, it's Roman Reigns. So I think just for that aspect, it's a terrible timing because everyone's going to assume, if Seth Rollins can't, wrestle at Mania, they're just going to replace him with Reigns, which they probably would. Let's face it, they would. So, anyway, yeah, we didn't want to do too long of a video, but hopefully, like I said, hopefully Rollins is okay, and it's just something where he needs a little bit extra time to kind of get to 100% for Mania so he can put on a good match. And then, like we said, after Mania, if he has more time to kind of recover, because he isn't going for a belt or anything, and it's a match against Triple H, and usually Triple H kind of disappears for a while after Mania. I think a lot of the sort of legends do for a while after Mania, so it's not like it would be something that Rollins would have to continue the storyline after Mania. I mean, they could, and not necessarily have him wrestle, but anyway, we will be back tomorrow. We might have something else tonight. I don't know. But follow us on Twitter at ICW_podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the video. Leave your comments on Seth Rollins if you think he's just lazy and wants to take some time off, or if he really broke his knee and he'll never wrestle again. It's probably not that bad. I'm pretty sure it's probably not that bad. But we'll see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.